you cannot see the tulips, but there are tulips somewhere. Maybe I can show you first before I start. It's, there's some tulips there. That's why I was singing the tiptoe through the window by the tulips. I'm not even sure if that's the right lyrics, but I'm singing anyway because that's what humans do. We sing when we feel like singing. I'm having some struggle to make this properly positioned, because I also want to do this like that. And pardon the armpit flash once more. I've been flashing my armpits for several videos now, and I'm sorry for that. And also, I'm not sure if there seems to be a nice spot over there, but there's no like sitting sort of. Look at the chair I'm sitting on. It's a very nice chair. Like, I can lift it so you can see. Like, I really like the color also, and it looks like it's freshly painted too. And this is like for everyone's use because it's right outside, as you can see, an apartment building. Yeah, so here I am still with my greasy now hair and lungs that are gasping for some kind of air, and it's very warm now. And I'm doing this because, like I said yesterday, I look like I'm going to the barbers. This is how the barber, but this is couture, like avant-garde. Like, I'm not sure if I'm using the proper jargon for that industry, but like couture, sort of. Anyway, so I'm forgetting to imagine your face again, and I just noticed that I think it's impossible for me to do that because I have my own imagination sort of uh, doing this movie like scene inside my head already while I am talking, or it's really weird what happens inside my brain while I'm discussing something. So if I try to imagine a listener, I don't think I can discuss the way I want to discuss anything. But I want you to know with all of my heart that I know that you're gonna listen to this, and I really appreciate it that there is someone like you in the universe. So yeah, pardon me again if sometimes I don't sound like I'm speaking to a human being. Like I said, this feels like speaking to an entity larger than myself if I'm ambitious enough, like the universe itself, in like, yeah, a conversation, a one-way conversation with the universe itself. These videos, how it feels like to me when I'm doing them. So now I would like to discuss about the myth of being normal. because for me it feels like a myth, like this being normal sort of business that we are having on this earth. and and it's nice to see actually now during these current times that being normal is not even as required as before anymore. I can see a lot of people online embracing how strange they are, or living life in a very non-linear sort of way. And I'm like, yes, yes, we are growing as a species. So yeah, so basically this may sound a very antiquated sort of way, or like someone speaking about a piece of humanity that is slowly making itself rot. Does that make sense? But yeah, this may sound like a point of view of a dying society, sort of. Uh, uh, like uh, a reflection, if you may, from, or that stemmed from a dying society of where being normal is required. So yeah, with all that, because I sometimes feel like I'm not as updated anymore as I used to, since I uninstalled TikTok and I'm not very like active anymore in the, like, you know, the mainstream. I'm kind of like, yeah, just like existing and gathering shiny pebbles in random directions, so I'm not as updated as I used to be anymore. But I still know that there's several wars going on. So yeah, I guess I'm not sure even if this is a title of a book, The Myth, because it sounds like a title of a book maybe. And pardon me if it's a title of a book, because sometimes I kind of see things and then I forget about them, and then I speak about them randomly without knowing that they are what they are. So yeah, maybe that is the title of a book, like The Myth of Being Normal. And I want to talk about that because it is something that I want to talk about. I think that's enough of a reason, because that's how we do things. We like to talk about things randomly, even just, yeah, just like this. It's like crocheting, like, but instead of yarn we use words. So I guess I have so many thoughts before I sat down, but now I just like that I am sitting down and looking at how young the leaves of the trees are. They have this yellowish sort of green in them. You can see an example like here, that one. That's how the trees are looking, because it's supposed to be spring, but the temperature is summer already. So the trees are just being babies in their way of existing as of the moment. And I guess sometimes it's okay if things don't go like how we planned them, because it's warm and it's not always warm. And I feel like I can breathe better now, even though I'm still a bit hungry. I am hungry. But earlier I stumbled upon the yeah, that one, The Myth of Being Normal, and how it's a myth, and like how, like I said in one of my videos, I am different, you are different, the person over there is different, that person who just drove a car, a black car, is different, and these people over there, like living in those windows, in those like apartments behind me, they are different than, it's like how you know how the scientists put this, like we are one unique combination of things, of DNAs, of or everything that came before us. There is literally no single fingerprint that is the same. And yet, in the past society, people are expected to behave the same, to live life in a very like rigid sort of format, that even if you take like 2 steps that are not in their idea of what a normal life, 2 steps away from their idea of what normal is like, you will be the town's lunatic or something. Like when I look back in the old days, people really, or even now there is some residue of this in a lot of parts of the world. There's still some residue of this. Like we know for a fact that every single one of our fingerprints is not the same as the next person, and yet we expect that there is some kind of like, this is how the way things should be, this is how you live your life, if you're this, if you're how old the or something, this, like sort of normal. And do you see how stupid that is? Like it doesn't make sense. Like who is benefiting from this? Who is benefiting from this? Like why is this a thing, and why has it carried on for centuries? And I also get that it's easy, brain like easy, so brain does easy. I get it from that perspective, but still, yeah, so maybe that's the simplest way to solve this. But still it's so weird that there is a time, and it's still happening in some parts of the world, that we are reinforcing sort of this rigid sort of like, oh, get like something, yeah, you know how normal life looks like. And yeah, that's just like, if someone is like straying away from it, the world is not very kind. And then again, this one idea that came up to me earlier was being normal. Being normal seems like this sort of elite, exclusive, membership only kind of club, and you have to like act in a certain way, or dress a certain way, or like behave like sort of a certain way, and you have to cut off your like self, or some branches of your entity or soul, just to get into this exclusive like sort of club, because everyone is like going in it, like everyone is like, oh, like if you belong, you belong, like you have more friends if you belong, like something like this. And then after you have stripped away all your like colors, or like branches that don't align with this elite club, like you get in, and then you realize, hold on, I have to do this for the rest of my life. Whenever my branch kind of goes out of my skin in a way, I have to like like do this, because or else they'll kick me out. And then you're like, and then you have to like constantly, and it hurts. Wait, I have to do this for the rest of my life. And then you open like, what really is the price of this elite club? What are the benefits? What are, and you see that there is no benefits. It's only for like show, like just to say that you have this card. There's no benefits. Like the only thing that you will get from this sort of elite club, like elite normal club, is that the pressure to conform, to maintain your membership card for the rest of your life. If I think about it this way, being normal sounds like the ultimate form of masochism that humans really, because you know the psychologists, they say that humans have that masochistic streak. They are not always aware of it, but it exists. But really, if you look at it from a certain perspective, being normal, or the attempt to be normal, if you know yourself that you are some sort of like a branchy little thing that's supposed to just branch out in a different way, it hurts. It hurts having to like just, it hurts this way of existing or attempt of trying to exist. And yes, I am speaking from experience actually, because from the moment I haven't even gotten the chance to come out of my mother, they already don't know what to do with me. Like, they don't know what to do with me. Why won't I come out? All the water has drained. Why won't I come out? Like, my birthday is supposed to be earlier than my true birthday. That's how the story went, at least from my mother. Like, I was supposed to be born already the day before my birthday, and then for some reason they don't know what to do with me, why I'm being like that. And so now, so you can see, maybe for some people, the privilege card, the normal membership card, they have it at birth. But I know for a fact that I have never gotten this opportunity of having the membership card when I was like conceived, me maybe even maybe I don't know, maybe the cells are not, you know, my dad is not normal, my mom is not normal. They are like the rebellions of their family tree in their own right. So as you can see, I never had that sort of privilege card, like the normal privilege card, ever since. So it's hard. It's literally like killing myself with a bread knife every time I try to act in a way that is acceptable to the majority. And yes, I also have suffered the consequences of being what I am, just by existing the way I existed. I still am existing, like the pain of being constantly misunderstood, the deportation scares. I have had multiple deportation scares just because, I guess, just because of being the way I am. Like, I am paying my taxes and all. I am not committing any crime, but things happen that like for example, I was no, I should not go too personal on this, but yeah. Yeah, I know that I was left with many questions when sometimes when things happen that I know that I have done my part, but then something will happen out of the blue, and now I don't know if I will get sent back to the Philippines or not. But I am yeah, I'm sure I'm not I don't like, maybe I did something wrong, or I don't really know. There are things that have happened to me or in my life that I was just left, well, what happened? What did I do? Sort of way. Yeah, and nobody really explains. Nobody really explains what happened. And I just have to kind of survive, or like find a way to kind of still blossom and shine bright like a diamond. So yeah, and so yeah, I guess that's like this being normal, sort of the myth of being normal. I'm sure I'm not the only person who have experienced this. There are loads of people probably who had it worse than I have, just because we don't fall on the same, like we don't think the same. If you I actually have, or we don't exist the same, or like we don't grow the same way than the majority of people. And I actually have said this once in my life to one of the teachers I had recently, because we are getting to know each other as a group. And I told them that, not them as in a person, but them as in a group. I told them that my life doesn't really make sense to the naked eye, but it makes sense to me. I am building something, but if I try to explain, I will not explain it well. So yeah, I guess, yeah, we have strayed, I think, a little bit from the topic of the normalness, and I'm not sure how to end this. But I'm really liking the sound of the birds. Yeah, if you even see or hear or listen to the birds, every bird, just because they are just because they are birds, they don't have this like one sort of singular sound. There are many types of sounds of birds, but then they're all birds, and they make the world beautiful with their own sounds. Or maybe they have like similar sounds in their own species, but then humans are more complex than birds. And just because I am human doesn't mean just because we are humans doesn't mean we have to live in like sort of a format or patterns, because there are so many ways on how to live one life. You can take mine for example. I'm not living it in the sort of formatted way as of the moment. I know what I like, I know what I don't like, and I am living my life in that sort of compass. I have a compass, I have a North Star, but being normal is not it. And I'm so glad that I had the privilege to get older, because it's so much easier, and there's so much freedom in knowing that I don't really need to cut my branches just to be, have this membership card that I don't even like to be a member of. Like, I can just exist. I can just exist, like, I'm not hurting people, like, I'm not like being mean, or I just like to sing whenever I feel like singing, like right now. That anyway, I shall leave you with that. I'm on the top of the world looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find is the love that I find ever since you've been around. Your love put me at the top of the world. I'm on the top of the world looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find is the love that I found ever since you've been around. Your love put me at the top of the world.